and Training TVT system and its calibration with National Skill Qualification Framework in India. As you are all teachers of technical education, so you are very well aware of the word technical vocational education and training system, and you are also aware of the national skill qualification framework which has been for India, which has been talked by Professor Sani. I will be during this session discussing with you what is the education system we have in India, what is there in the subsystem, that is technical and vocational education and training, then how the various qualifications which are there in technical vocational education and training system can be calibrated with the national skill qualification framework which has been propagated for India. That is the broad thing which we will be talking in this session. You are all aware of that in the world we have developed countries, we have developing countries, and we have undeveloped countries. The countries who are developed, like Korea, Japan, US, Germany, these countries have got some difference from the developing countries and some difference from the undeveloped countries. The major difference between these countries is that the developed countries have planned their economic development, prosperity and well-being of people due to the quality of manpower resources developed through well-planned and managed education and training system. They plan and develop human resources to take advantage of global requirement and local perspective. So the nutshell I want to say is that developed countries have developed because of the planning of the development of the human resources in their country. ये diagram नहीं दिख रहा है? If you see this diagram includes three diagrams. First is developed country, which is of egg shape. Other is developing countries, that is of cone shape. And the third is undeveloped countries, which is of pagoda shape. In these diagrams, we have shown the hatching is of different type. The blank is innovators and inventors and innovators. The other hatch is manager and engineers. Third is specialized and general technicians. And fourth is craftsmen and skilled worker. And lastly is semi-skilled and other workers. If you see the developed countries diagram of the human resources or technical manpower, you will find that in the developed countries you have large number of innovators and inventors, large number of engineers and managers, large number of technicians and skilled workers, and large number of semi-skilled workers and all that. The number of researcher, innovators, engineers, managers is very large in the developed countries. When you see the undeveloped countries in the pagoda shape, you will find that the topmost manpower, that is innovators and inventors, is very less. Researchers and managers are also less, but there is great number of the lowest thing, that is the unskilled worker and the semi-skilled worker. So it means in the developed countries you have more researcher, innovators and engineers, managers and skilled worker compared to the undeveloped countries or developing countries. Therefore, क्या हो गया? So technical profile of developing and developed countries are of egg shape, cone shape and pyramid shape respectively. Technical manpower in developed, undeveloped and developing countries comprises of inventors and innovators, managers and engineers, specialized and general technicians, craftsmen and skilled workers and semi-skilled workers and other workers. In developed countries, the availability भाई ये नंबर नहीं ठीक आ रहा है भाई एक्सक्यूज मी ये दूसरा आ रहा है ऊपर जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ. In developed countries, the availability of technical manpower of all type is quite large compared to the developing and undeveloped countries. The number of inventors and innovators, managers and engineers is much larger than technicians in comparison to the developing countries. So if India is to become a developed nation, it requires a large number of high-level researchers and engineers in addition to technicians for meeting the future challenges of industry and business. Incremental requirement of manpower over the next decade. For India, capability of participating in the benefits of technological progress and of contributing actively to technological innovations depends on a number of educational prerequisites. High-level researchers, engineers, technicians, and crafts must be trained and used effectively. So this is the prerequisite for becoming a developed country. There must have, these must have strategic, innovative done by specialists, tactile or accuracy done by engineers, and technical or adaptive done by technicians, and craftsmen, and operative or adaptive capabilities done by un or semi-skilled worker. Technical and management power, shown in figure 2, gives details of the type of manpower employees in their percentage out of the total requirement over the next decade. Kinds of job, roles and educational prerequisite. The skilled full schooling employees given in figure includes craftsmen and technicians. I would like you to see this diagram nice properly because it gives an idea that what type of manpower will be required in India in the coming times. That, as we have mentioned in the cone, egg and pagoda diagram, you had different type of manpower required there for becoming a developed country. In India, we will be having a sort of requirement of such type of people. Specialized and highly skilled people will be 4 to 5%. Skilled, formally educated or college degree like bachelor's degree will be 20 to 23%. Skillful schooling, underground vocational training like vocational and ITI will be 30 to 32%, and unskilled or no formal education school dropouts will have 40 to 45%. So the requirement of the manpower which will be there will be in this ratio, that researcher innovators will be 4 to 5%, engineer manager will be 20 to 23%, technician craftsman will be 30 to 32%, while unskilled or no formal educations will be 40 to 40%. On the right side of this, we have written the kind of jobs or roles they will be playing. The topmost is specialist in various areas. They are innovators, inventors, which are required for the country, while skill 20 to 23% are engineers, accountants, doctors, service sector jobs in purchase, sales, finance, HR, administration, while 30 to 32% are skilled drivers, machine operator, fitters, technicians, inspectors, factory supervisors, and unskilled labor, helper, guides, storekeeper, construction worker, packers, etc. will be 40 to 45, 40 to 45%. So you can understand this will be the type of the ratio which will be required in the next decade. If you say it is 130 to 140 million people, then the ratio will be in this way. You must have known this thing that in all developed countries, देखिए जरा, है तो change नहीं हो रहा. In all advanced countries, whatever manpower is there, it is professionally certified by the industry. If you go to UK, US, other countries, you will find whatever manpower will be, that will be certified by the industry, whether it is a technician or a craftsman or engineer. So in all advanced countries, manpower different level like craftsman, technician, engineer, manager, etc. are certified by industry association or professional bodies having desired education and competence is employed in all the occupational areas. So in India also, we thought that if our people have to be accepted abroad and they have to be of a higher standard, they should have a certain sort of certification. And for that purpose, national skill qualification framework level were identified in India and described in terms of learning outcome. This certified man has greater chances of employability all over the world. So we have come to this conclusion that if India has to become a developed country, what is required is that the manpower which is there, large number of researchers, developers, innovators, managers, skilled workers, unskilled workers are required in the coming times, and those should be such that they are professionally certified and they meet the requirement of national qualification framework. Now, before we go for technical and vocational education, I would like to say that what is our vision of the country? Our vision of India is that make a country developed nation. Yes, यहाँ नहीं आ रहा. अच्छा. Make a country a developed nation with economic prosperity till 2020. Technology will play a dominant role, enhance GDP of country by manufacturing base and export, improve quality of life of people, provide opportunity to each one to use his talent effectively through education and training. So what is the vision of the country? We want that our country should be a developed nation till 2020. As I mentioned to you earlier, that developed countries are those countries where the quality life of the people is very good and they lead a quality life. And if India has to be a developed nation by 2020 and people have a quality of life, then it is essential that we should make our efforts to educate and train people as per their talent. Targets, if you want to achieve the vision of being a developed country, what is required? To make 25% of the total workforce in the world as Indian. Because we have got advantage of population and we can take the advantage of population if we train our people, provide skill to them, then they will be accepted world over. So to make 25% of the total workforce in the world as Indian, to produce 500 million skilled people in 12th five-year plan, to make India a knowledge superpower and different fields, to establish a knowledge network in higher education and DBT, and establishment of world-class institutions. So if India has to be a vision is to be a developed nation by 2020, then we have to uh, establish certain targets, and the targets are that in 12th five-year plan, 500 million people should be the skilled people out of 1.2 billion. Then 25% of total workforce in the world should be Indian, and we should have a knowledge setups by which we become a superpower, and we should establish the network of higher education institutions and set up world-class institutions. I have shown this thing that if we have got a vision which is shown by three: knowledge, means education. Creativity is the new ideas, new approaches. So what is required is, if we have vision of India to become a developed nation, we will have to have a sort of education system at the knowledge which works creatively and implement the things. You have वो है आपके पास शो करने के लिए अच्छा you should take action so that you remain ahead of the other. So what is there that if India has to be competitive and India has to become a nation which is developed, what is required is we should have a education and training system whereby knowledge is generated and it is creatively used, action is taken, and thereby we create a lot of new things. And in competitiveness is a function of knowledge, creativity, vision, action, IPR. IPR means intellectual property right. So it means whatever we are doing is that we should try to see that we take the advantage of that thing for innovations which will help the country to take the advantage of that in the world. These are the challenges of 21st century. Because when we have got the vision which we want to fulfill to be make India as a developed country, we have to have a visualize also that what are the challenges which are being faced by this country in view of the things which are happening in the environment of the world, so that we try to face those challenges and we come out successfully out of those challenges. The challenges are globalization, liberalization, modernization, and uh, WTO. There is population explosion is a challenge, environmental degradation is a challenge, mass education need is a challenge, impact of technology on society, commerce, education, entertainment, etc. is a challenge, fast communication is a challenge, obsolescence of products is a challenge, exponential explosion of knowledge is challenge, and knowledge society. What I want to say is that due to the fast communication, whatever is happening in the world anywhere, one knows, and one has to try to see that whatever he is doing, he takes care of that. Obsolescence of product is very quick. A new product has been developed maybe 1 year back. The chances are there that other countries will come a better product in a maybe few months or few days, and thereby you will not be able to face the competition. So these are the challenges which India has to face if it wants to be a developed nation. As I mentioned to you that the countries have become developed through the due to the human resources, due to the manpower which they have produced, and that manpower has been produced from the education and training system. Manpower has not been produced automatically as it used to be there about 1,000 years back. 1,000 years back, you were having apprentice system. Father was working, son was working with the father, and son was learning from the father, and thereby by what was happening, the skills was being learned by the children. But later on, about 200 years back, this formal system of education and training came, by which the schools or institutions were established, and in those institutions, the students in large number got theoretical and practical knowledge. So developed nations have become developed through their education and training system, through which they trained their manpower to such an extent that they contribute in the development of their economy. So education system of the country is required to develop various levels and types of desired human resources in all fields like engineering, law, business, commerce, social science, culture, art, agriculture, health, management, etc. TVT subsystem, formal and non-formal, develop human resources in the field of engineering, technology, art and architecture, hotel management, pharmacy, home science, business and management. You are aware of that All India Council of Technical Education is there, and All India Council of Technical Education take care of technical education. And what are the areas coming under technical education? The areas coming under the technical education are engineering and technology, art and architecture, hotel management, pharmacy, home science, business and management. When we are talking about education, we are talking in general. Country's progress is not only dependent on the technical education also only, it is dependent on all education. That's why I have written education system of the country is required to develop various level and types of desired human resources in all fields like engineering, law, business, commerce, social sciences, culture, art, agriculture, health, architecture, management, etc. So if country has to become a developed nation, you have to have the people of all type. And one of the category of the people who are required is the technical people, and those people are developed under the subsystem of the education that is called technical education. Human resource development through education system. It deals with the process of competency developing people and creation of conditions through public policy programs and other interventions to help people apply these competencies for their own benefit and for that of others by starting enterprises, services, etc. These competencies includes knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values. Technical vocational education and training has a multiplier effect in improving the quality of life of the people. It develops people to earn their living and also utilize technology in their day-to-day life for enhancing their efficiency and comfort. So, as we have mentioned, that education system helps in developing the competency in the people, and these competencies, when developed in the people, not only help them to have jobs, it also helps them to uh, improve upon the way they are living. For example, if somebody is trained in village, he gets a job there. At the same time, where he is working, he tries to work with the equipment. He tries to work with the machine. And when he start doing the things with machines and other things, what happens? The hard labor which he has was manual labor he was putting in the things that get reduced, and he starts leading a good life, comfortable life. So same way it is happening in the other people's life also, that they are able to manage the equipment and other things, and thereby they have greater efficiency and comfort. As I mentioned to you that we have a large population. Population has to be educated and trained, or have to be made skilled, and where they are provided with the skills, they are provided skills and in education and training system. So what is their education and training system? What is there is helps in converting the population to the skilled people or competent people. This diagram illustrates to you that the population is coming. If you take the technical education, structure of technical education is there, and out of the structure of technical education, you have got the employable population, skilled population. And if you find that when you have educated and trained people through technical education, they are not employable, then you will find that there is some error, and again you will give feedback to the system so that the people, the education system improve on. What are there in the structure of technical education system? Can you tell me? कि टेक्निकल एजुकेशन में क्या क्या है, क्या क्या इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं सारे टेक्निकल एजुकेशन में? कौन कौन सी इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, क्या क्या नाम है उनके? पॉलिटेक्निक है, और कौन सी हैं? वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. or or so we have got, as you have said, that in our technical education system, we have ITI, we have polytechnic, we have degree engineering college. In schools, we have vocational education, isn't it? Colleges also we have education. Then we have NITTR. Then we have IITs. We have got NITs, isn't it? We have specialized institution like Indo-Swiss Training Center or Tool Room at Ludhiana, or you can say Leather Institute in Agra. So specialized institutions are there. So what is there is in technical education, say we have lot of institutions. Population comes, get training through those systems, and goes to the market. If they are good, they are employable. If they are not there, they go back and they get improvement. And what is the system we have? System we have is we have primary education, is it? है ना? Primary education is there. कितने साल की है? 5 years. Then we have secondary education is also 5 years. Then we have higher secondary, or some say higher secondary, so senior secondary, whatever they say, 2 years. Then we have ITI, we have polytechnic, we have degree and other institutions, isn't it? So this is the sort of structure that in the population, the students come to the primary, go to the secondary, to higher secondary, degree, and so on. Is it so? You agree? What is the duration of polytechnic? Primary is 5, secondary is 5, higher secondary is 2, ITI maybe 1 or 2, polytechnic will be 3. Vocational will also be 10 plus 2. Then we have, after higher secondary, we have BCA, MCA, other things also. They are of 3 years duration, while degree in engineering is of 4-year duration. So this is a sort of a education system of the India. Are these connected with each other, or they are just maybe just kuch padha do panjvi, kuch something you teach them in primary, something you teach them secondary, something you teach them higher secondary, something you teach them ITI? Are these connected, interconnected, or not? Should there be a continuity in teaching? Should there be any continuity between what is being taught in primary, secondary, and polytechnic or ITI or higher secondary, or there should not be any continuity? Continuity should be there. Good. This is the diagram which is showing you what I have talked about. You are starting from, 8th, then 10th is there. After 10th, you do, 10 plus 2, 4 years. You go professional engineer. Then 10 plus 3, polytechnic. You go technician engineer. 10 plus 2, vocational education. 10 plus 2, you become skilled worker. Right? This is the system we have in India, that we 5 years, then 8 plus 10, then they go to different channels for doing different type of courses. What do you understand by the word philosophy? Have you heard the word philosophy? वेरी नाइस, वेरी गुड. और कोई बताएंगे? क्यों भाई, आप क्या लिख रहे हैं? लिखिए नहीं. फिलोसफी का सुना है? Have you heard the word philosophy? Is something on which we have based our thinking, isn't it? And which has been propagated by somebody and has been accepted. So somebody asks you, what is the philosophy of the education in India? Yes, anybody? What's the philosophy of education system in India? Philosophy of education system in India is that we want to have 4 things in students. One is learning to do. He should learn to do the things by which he can have employment. Learning to be, he has to be, his personality, he has to be, confidence has to be developed, his personality has to be developed. Learning to live with others. This is the also philosophy that he should be taught how to work with others, how to live with others. And the fourth is how learning to learn or be a learner. He should learn how to learn new things. So philosophy of education in India or all over the world is that these are the four things which are required to be developed in the students, isn't it? I have written in a different form. First thing is that we want to develop professional development of the students for getting employment at present and in future. Then we want to take care of personal development. Then we want to take care of social development. And lastly, we want to take the development of learning to learn. So philosophy and goal of education system, Indian education system is based on the philosophy of lifelong learning. कि भाई बच्चे से लेके जब तक आप कवर में नहीं जाते तब तक आपको लर्न करना पड़ता है. You have to continuously learn the things. It aims at all-round holistic development, body, mind and spirit of children. This encompasses development of physical, social, mental, emotional and professional and occupational development aspect through various stages of education, that is primary, secondary and higher education. मतलब प्राइमरी से लेकर सेकेंडरी और हायर सेकेंडरी और हायर तक जो है द गोल इज कि आदमी का होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट हो. होलिस्टिक मीन्स फुलेस्ट डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल. जो उसकी टैलेंट है उसका पूरी तरह डेवलपमेंट हो. और वो डेवलपमेंट जैसे मैंने बताया कि प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट हो, पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट हो, सोशल डेवलपमेंट हो और लर्निंग टू लर्न स्किल डेवलपमेंट. This is the four pillars of education on 21st century. This is what I have told to you. First is learning to do, development of competencies and skills needed to become an effective, socially useful and economically productive individual to deal with many situations and work in team and joint projects. ये है प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट. दूसरा है लर्निंग टू बी, ये पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट का है. हैज टू डेवलप वंस पर्सनैलिटी टू बी एबल टू एक्ट विथ ग्रेटर ऑटोनॉमी, जजमेंट एंड पर्सनल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. डेवलपमेंट ऑफ पर्सनल पोटेंशियल, मेमोरी, रीजनिंग, एस्थेटिक सेंस, फिजिकल कैपेसिटी एंड कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स. ये है पर्सनैलिटी का पार्ट. देन इज लर्निंग टू लिव टुगेदर बाय promotion of social cohesion, integrity of nation, learning to resolve and manage conflicts, and working towards common objective and goal. This is the social development. And lastly, learning to learn and learning to know, to be self-directed, lifelong learning so as to benefit from opportunities provided by education through one's life. So one should be a self-learner, one should be lifelong learner. That is the four things which are the component of the philosophy of the education. This is just what I have already said. TVT system is part of the whole education system, that is primary education, secondary education, higher secondary education and higher education. 10 plus 2 plus 3 is prevalent. This is the structure we have in India. 10 plus 2 plus 3. Are you aware of this? Do you know this? Okay. Engineering college, polytechnic, industrial training institutes are part of TBT subsystem and develop engineer, technician and craftsman manpower. A large number of professional bodies, open universities and industries develop various type and level of manpower. What I have said to you in the beginning itself, that we require innovators, we require inventors, we require engineers, managers, we require craftsmen, technicians, we require skilled worker, unskilled worker in large number, or have to be converted by the technical education system so that they become more productive and they can contribute to the development of the countries as has been done in the developed countries. Now somebody will ask me, what do you mean by technical education in general? Because once we are talking about all these things, we should be very clear. What is the meaning of the concept of technical education? Technical education in general means it is the study of technologies, textile technologies, electrical engineering technologies, mechanical technology, फूड टेक्नोलॉजी, whatever it is there, ये टेक्निकल जो भी चीज़ है जिसमें आप कोई टेक्नोलॉजी की स्टडी करते हैं वो टेक्निकल एजुकेशन के अंडर आ जाता है. It also includes the study of related science or technology. All technologies are based on certain science. So टेक्निकल एजुकेशन में जो आप पढ़ें उन साइंसेस के बारे में ये आप पढ़ेंगे. It also include practical skills acquisition and attitudes. इसमें आप practical skills भी included हैं और attitude भी included हैं जो कि चाहिए. This is also includes understanding and knowledge relating to the occupations in various sectors of economic and social life. For example, you are electrical engineer की technical education है, so you are not only concerned with technical education in of electrical in power system, but you are to know about what is the various occupations in which these electrical people are employed, and you should have a full idea about it. Assist in achievement of society goals of greater democratization, social, culture and economic development, understand environment aspects and lifelong education. So technical education हम उसको कहेंगे जिसमें कि किसी भी एरियाज की जिसमें कि इन बातों को इंक्लूड किया गया है. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ indirectly कि any course which you see about technical education, if it includes these aspects, we will say that this course is of technical education. उसमें क्या है, टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में है, उनकी साइंसेस के बारे में है, प्रैक्टिकल स्किल एक्वाइजिशन है, उसके बाकी एरियाज का आइडिया देते हैं, वो लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग उसमें सिखाते हैं, एनवायरनमेंट एस्पेक्ट का दिखाते हैं. इन सारी चीज़ें अगर हैं तो वी विल से इज ए टेक्निकल एजुकेशन. This we have just talked about, but again I will repeat. What is the structure of education in India? In India, the structure of education is bifurcated into basic education with core curriculum called secondary school education and tertiary education with university education and higher studies in academic and technical courses. Secondary education, primary education, basic education, and then we have secondary education. The secondary education is a tier system with 5 years of primary plus 3 years of junior secondary education called elementary education. This stage of free and compulsory for all in age group of 6 to 14 years as per the provision of the Constitution of India under Article 45. After 8 years of compulsory elementary education, 2 years of secondary education make 10 years of schooling with a minimum core curriculum. It involves studying of language, science, mathematics, social studies and physical education. 10वीं क्लास में क्या बच्चे यही स्टडी करते हैं? Do they study mathematics? They study science, they study language, they study social studies, and they have physical education. So you can very well see that up to 10th class secondary education is same for all children, and they are given the basic idea about language, science, mathematics, social studies, and physical education. Social studies, what does it include? Yeah, good. Very good. Yes. Anybody? History also is good. So social studies gives you an idea about the India as well as about the world, and so that the children should be aware of, isn't it, in which situation they are going, and what is the history of the country, what is the culture of the country, what is the social setup in which they are working, what is the policies we have. After 10 years of schooling at secondary level, 2 more years at school offer diversification of curriculum into mainstreams in respect of art and humanities, science, medical and non-medical, and commerce in the academic stream. The second stream offers vocational education, technical courses, and numerous vocational trades, skill as provided in a school. This stage is known as plus two or senior secondary education. So after 10 plus, you have got bifurcations and people go in various categories. Either they go to the commerce or they go to engineering or medical, non-medical. Higher secondary education in university and college. After senior secondary stage, university education is for those who wish to pursue academic, professional and technical education in the form of art and humanities, medical science, agriculture, veterinary science, engineering and technology, spending minimum of 3 to 4 years to earn degrees at graduate level, followed by 2 years of post-graduation and minimum of 3 years of doctorate. Technical vocational education and training. Those who cannot afford to continue higher education, they can branch off in technical and vocational courses in it. It is the polytechnic spending 1 to 2, 3 to 4 to 3 to 4 years to earn certificate and diploma, acquiring technical and vocational skills to pursue vocational education. Even after 10 years of secondary education, the candidate can seek admission in it and polytechnics to get certificate in the vocation, trade, art and craft. So we have vocational also, we have certificate also, we have diploma also, what you have said. This we have already said. Secondary education curriculum, language for development of linguistic abilities and communication skills for effective participation in day-to-day life. Mathematics, the sole purpose of development of logical mind, application of mathematics skills in daily life. Science, it is considered vital for development of spirit of inquiry, questioning and problem solving skills. Objectively critical and rational thinking with children aware of social and environment issues. Social science find place in curriculum to understand, appreciate and to conserve indigenous knowledge ingrained in Indian culture and its contribution to mankind, and also to understand the interaction between natural and social environment in its totality. The learning of such subjects as economics, civics, history and geography enables to inculcate national integration and international understanding, tolerance and for diversity and development of cohesive society. What I want to say is, generally what happens is that when we go for diploma, when we go for degree or ITI, we forget about what the student has studied. And we don't have any continuity with what they have already studied. Therefore, many times they think that what they have studied earlier is of no use. So what is essential is, one, a teachers like you should be aware of that what they have learned earlier, and he should try to take the advantage of that and correlate in their teaching. As I mentioned to you that in developed countries we have professional certifications of manpower. Professional certification of manpower means if you have to go to Australia, they will take your test for electrical engineering or mechanical engineering. And if you clear the test, then they will give you professional certificate by which you can do the job. Otherwise, they will not do it. Isn't it? So in India also, what we have said, we have also started thinking about this. Can we certify our people? So level, number and descriptors. Different countries, namely UK, Australia, Scotland, South Africa, New Zealand, Sri Lanka, China have decided number of levels in their qualification framework based on the occupational level like craftsman, technician, etc. existing in their industry and service sector. Each level of qualification is described by the statement of learning outcome in 5 domains known as level descriptors. What I want to say is, we have understood that in our technical vocational education system, we have school system, and after that we have ITI, the Polytechnic, degree, and all those institutions. And these institutions prepare people for industry. And what is the nomenclature of the people who are created in these industries, used in the industry, which come from the polytechnics in this? You know, ITI person is a, what is the designation of ITI person in industry? Yes? What do you call? Polytechnic product, what is called? Degree holder, what is called? A person who has done degree in engineering, he is called an engineer. Person who has done polytechnic, he is called supervisor or a technician. While a ITI, a person who does the ITI, is called craftsman or a skilled worker, isn't it? And below that, you have, if people have done short courses, we say they are semi-skilled workers, isn't it? And below that, you will have unskilled workers, isn't it? So it means that whatever institutions we have in technical vocational education and training, those are corresponding corresponding to the occupations which we have in the industry. क्या मतलब हुआ इसका? क्या मैंने कहा है आपसे? What I have said कि whatever institutions are there, these institutions are established to provide a certain type of manpower for the industry. Is it so? It is not that we have established the institution at the will of the people. We have not established the institution. We have established the institution by seeing what type of manpower is required, type of manpower, and what is the level of the manpower. For example, today you see that you require a high class automobile technician, isn't it? Which are not being produced by the conventional institution. Then you will set up a new institution where you will produce that type of technicians, isn't it? So what I want to say is that industry, together with the other people, they have decided certain levels of people which are required in industry, isn't it? And they have specified that this level, or for example, level number 5 is corresponding to a technician or a supervisor. Number 3 is corresponding to a ITI or a person. Number 2 is semi-skilled worker. Number 1 is unskilled worker. Number level 7 is engineer, isn't it? Number 9 is innovator and this. So what they have done in industry is that they have studied what level of people are there in different industries, and they have come to the conclusion that this is the total level which are industry existing of the manpower which is existing in industries, and they call it levels. And they have decided to have 10 levels. In India, they have decided to have 10 levels. कि 10 level ये है, जो the people will be existing in the industry, and they have specified, they have given their curricula, or they have given their profile. Profile समझते हैं? क्या मतलब है profile का? Profile का क्या मतलब होता है? उसकी डिटेल दे दी, उसकी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स क्या है, लेवल 1 कौन है, लेवल 2 कौन है, लेवल 3 कौन है, लेवल 5 कौन है, 6 कौन है, 7 कौन है, 8 है, 9 कौन से. अगर 10 लोग 10 इस तरह के प्रोफाइल पड़े हुए हैं, तो उसमें से हम कैसे सेलेक्ट कर लें ये 10 है, ये 5 है, ये 6 है. ऐसा उन्होंने बाहर के देशों में कर लिया है, हमारे देशों में भी ये कर रहे हैं कि ये 10 लेवल जो हैं हर एक इंडस्ट्री के लिए इन 10 लेवल को डिफाइन कर दें, और डिफाइन कर दें कि ये 10 लेवल के लोग काम कर रहे हैं, इनकी ये प्रोफाइल है, इनसे ये एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं. तो जो आप इंस्टीट्यूशन में कोर्स बनाएं तो उसमें इन चीज़ों का ख्याल रखें कि जिस लेवल के आप कोर्स बना रहे हैं, लोगों को ट्रेन कर रहे हैं, उनमें वो चीज़ें डालें जो कि उनको उस तरह का डेवलप और जो लेवल्स हैं उनको डिफाइन करने के लिए जो हम वर्ड यूज करते हैं कि भाई उनमें ये जो है कॉम्पिटेंसी ये तुम्हारे होनी चाहिए जो कि बच्चों में हो जो कि इन जॉब पे कम करें. So different countries, namely UK, Australia, Scotland, South Africa, Lanka, China, have decided number of levels in their qualification framework based on the occupational level. Occupational level. Occupation means जिस जॉब को वो करते हैं उनके लेवल्स को उन्होंने डिफाइन किया. Like craftsman, technician existing in their industry and service sector. Each level of qualification is described by a statement of learning outcome in 5 domains known as level descriptor. जैसे मैंने बताया था कि जैसे 6 लोग खड़े हुए हैं, 6 लोग खड़े हैं, उनको आपने पहचानना है. तो पहचानने के लिए क्या करेंगे? उनकी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स कहीं लिखी हुई है, उन्होंने लिख के दे दिए. इनकी हाइट इतनी है, इनकी जो है वेट इतना है, कलर कम्प्लेक्शन इतना है, ये क्वालिफिकेशन है, ये है. आप यहाँ डाल के रख दिया और आपसे कहा पहचानिए, तो आप एक को निकाल के देखेंगे और क्या देखेंगे ये. तो कैसे किया कि उन्होंने वो जो 6 पैरामीटर थे उन 6 पैरामीटर को यूज करके आपको अलग अलग कर. इसी प्रकार से इंडस्ट्री में जो ऑक्यूपेशन है उन हर एक ऑक्यूपेशन को हमने 5-6 चीज़ों के द्वारा जो है अलग अलग डिफाइन कर दिया. पहले प्रोसेस. प्रोसेस मीन्स वो कौन सी जॉब पे काम करते हैं, उनका क्या काम है, डेजिग्नेशन क्या है. प्रोफेशनल नॉलेज उनमें क्या होनी चाहिए, प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स क्या होनी चाहिए, कोर स्किल्स क्या होनी चाहिए, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी क्या होनी चाहिए. ये 5 चीज़ें. जैसे क्राफ्ट्समैन है, क्राफ्ट्समैन कहेंगे कि सुपरवाइजर के नीचे काम कर रहा है, इज़न्ट इट. टेक्नीशियन है, इंजीनियर के नीचे काम कर रहा है. तो इस तरह से उन्होंने रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी उनको कर दी. तो जैसे हमने 6 लोगों को अलग अलग पैरामीटर से अलग कर लिया, इसी तरीके से किसी भी इंडस्ट्री में जो जितने ऑक्यूपेशन हैं उन ऑक्यूपेशन में हम हर एक का ये देखते हैं और उनसे हम अलग कर लेते हैं कि ये क्या तुम्हारे स्किल्ड वर्कर है, अनस्किल्ड वर्कर है, क्राफ्ट्समैन है, टेक्नीशियन है, इंजीनियर है, क्या नहीं है. सो क्या हुआ कि इंडिया में भी हमने नेशनल स्किल क्वालिफिकेशन फ्रेमवर्क बनाया है जिसमें हर एक कह दिया कि हर एक इंडस्ट्री में, ज़्यादातर इंडस्ट्री में ये 10 लेवल होंगे और इन 10 लेवल को हर एक लेवल के लिए ये प्रोसेस, प्रोफेशनल नॉलेज, प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स, कोर स्किल एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी डिफाइन की होगी जिससे कि कोई भी आदमी आइडेंटिफाई कर सके कि भाई इसका प्रोफाइल क्या है तो उसको यूज़ कर सके. India has adopted NSQF National Skill Qualification Framework with 10 levels from 1 to 10, presuming 10 occupational level position in industry and service. Is it clear? Have you understood? These levels are defined in terms of learning outcome relating to knowledge, skills and attitude which the learner must possess regardless of whether they are acquired through formal, non-formal and informal. अभी तक तो हम यही कह रहे थे कि किसी ने ITI किया है, डिप्लोमा किया है या डिग्री किया है तो इस लेवल में हम देख लेंगे किस लेवल का है, हम कह देंगे कि ये लेवल, ये आदमी इस ऑक्यूपेशन लेवल के बराबर है. अब हम कहते हैं कि किसने अगर अपने आप ही सीख लिया है जी, फॉर्मल सिस्टम से नहीं हुआ है, नॉन फॉर्मली कर लिया है, इनफॉर्मली कर लिया है और वो हमारे को कॉम्पिटेंसी दिखा देता है इन 5 लेवल की, तो हम उसको कह देंगे, सर्टिफिकेट दे देंगे कि तुम, हालांकि आपने ITI नहीं पढ़ा है, आपने डिप्लोमा नहीं किया है, डिग्री नहीं किया है, लेकिन आपने इतना कॉम्पिटेंसी एक्वायर कर ली है कि जो हमारी इंडस्ट्री में चाहिए, इज़न्ट इट, और वो कर लेते हैं. Once I was coming from Dubai to Chandigarh, and in the way I met somebody who had come from Korea, and he said, I have worked for 8 years as a skilled worker in the Korea. I have no qualification. The only thing is I am able to do the job. He was from Punjab, and he said, when I was selected by somebody, he asked me कि भी अर्थिंग किस तरह कर दिया और मैं वो अर्थिंग ਨੂੰ properly कर सकिया ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ select कर लिया. So what I'm saying is, if somebody has acquired competencies related to the field by doing the things, isn't it? Maybe he has not gone through the certificate course or diploma course, and he will also be selected for taking a level position in the occupation. Levels I have mentioned already, and they have each level of the NSQF is associated with the set of descriptors made up of 5 outcome statements which describe in general terms the minimum knowledge, skills and attitude that a learner needs to acquire in order to be confined certified for their level. Each level of NSQF is described by a statement of learning outcome in 5 domains known as level descriptors. These 5 domains are process, professional knowledge, professional skills, core skills, and responsibility. I have given these tables, but I will not give you. Are you degree holder, diploma holders? Degree. Okay. So first I will give you. Let us see 7. Here, they have described 7. Level number 7 is corresponding to an engineer. Level 7 is corresponding to the engineer. First is process, then is professional knowledge, then is professional skills, and then is core skills, and then is responsibility. So what is there? Requires a command of wide-ranging specialized theoretical and practical skills involving variable routine and non-routine context. कि इसको theoretical and practical skill आनी चाहिए जो कि routine और अलग-अलग के लिए. Wide range of factual and theoretical knowledge in broad context with a field of work or study. Wide range of cognitive and practical skills required to generate solutions to specific problems in the field of work or study. Good logical and mathematical skills, understanding of special political and natural environment, good in collecting and organizing information, communication and presentation skills. And lastly, full responsible for output of group and development. So a engineer in broad terms will have these outcomes which he has to demonstrate. But when you are doing for electrical, you will do for electrical. When you will do for mechanical, you will do for mechanical. But in general, they have described that level 7, which is corresponding to an engineer, which is corresponding to a degree holder, which is produced from engineering college, has to have this sort of level descriptors, and these are to be specified for the specific branch of engineering. Now this is very important. Just have a look at it. All of you, I would like that you have attention. 10 levels we have said, and I have just tried to just thought over that in an Indian context, this 10 level which will be corresponding to what? Let us see the first from 1. What is 1? Worker with basic skills or core entry. 2 is worker under supervision. 3 is work under supervision. Worker, work under supervision. And third is work under some supervision. 4 is craftsman, work independently. 5 is technician, supervise others under the guidance of engineer. 6, advanced technician, supervise independently, complete jobs. 7, engineer entry, manage others, degree holder. 8, professional engineer, manage independently all the things. 9, designer and innovator or manager. 10, specialist and top management. I have, this is my thinking, maybe India will also accept this. that in India and the world, the difference is that there a person who graduates from a polytechnic or ITI or degree, he is not given the license to practice. He is not given license to practice. Adeda, in our students graduates and they can do the work to next day. But this doesn't happen in US, UK, Germany, etc. So I have thought over that in our industry also they are saying that we would like to have a person who can work from first day on the job, isn't it? So I have put it here to under 4, you know, I have added 4 and 8. 4 and 8. The 7 will be the person who is degree holder, just come from the institution. 4 will be, 5 will be technician who has also come directly from polytechnic. 6 will be person who will be given the license. Isn't it? So it means therefore when we are defining our levels, we will have to take care that when we are defining our this 5 or defining 7, we are only defining the people who are coming from the institution. But when we are defining 6 and 8, we define technicians and engineers who can work independently, isn't it? So the calibrating of technician, the calibrating of education with the application level means this thing. Calibration, what is the meaning of calibration? Can anybody tell me? What is the meaning of calibration? Have you heard calibration? Yeah, what is the meaning of this? The meaning of calibration is whenever instruments become faulty, isn't it? It starts giving wrong results. Measurement becomes wrong. So what is required? That this instrument has to be checked with the standard, and whenever some error is there, that error has to be corrected, isn't it? And once it is corrected, we say we have calibrated the instrument. So the need of the time is that our technical vocational education system has to be calibrated with the national and standard qualification framework, isn't it? And how can it be calibrated? It can calibrated if we know what is the, we define the NSQF levels clearly as per the industry is concerned. And those can be only defined if we are clear what is the this level 1 to 10 stands for the position in the industry, isn't it? If we are clear, then we can detail out that each level by process, knowledge, skill, responsibility, and core skills, isn't it? And if we do that, then we will be able to calibrate the our programs in the institution. What do you mean by calibrated of the program with the national standard qualification framework? कि जो आप करिकुलम समझते हैं, क्या होता है करिकुलम? जो कुछ करिकुलम में आपके जो पढ़ा रहे हैं डिग्री में या डिप्लोमा में आईटीआई में, उसको सबको देखेंगे, पूछेंगे कि भाई इस करिकुलम से 3 साल में या 2 साल में 4 साल में बच्चे में ऐसे कौन सी कॉम्पिटेंसी आ जाती हैं जो कि उसको डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट करनी चाहिए. मान लें टीचरों ने बैठ के डिसाइड कर लिया कि ये 10 कॉम्पिटेंसीज बच्चों में आएंगी if they have gone through the 4 years or 3 year program. You will compare those outcomes which have been specified by the teacher with the national skill qualification frameworks standards. If the difference is there, then you will calibrate your courses with those standards, isn't it? And we'll try to put certain things in your courses so that they become calibrated. If they become calibrated, what will be the outcome? अगर calibrated हो जाए तो फायदा क्या होगा? Very nice. इनके लिए तालियां बजा दीजिए आप 4 लोग ही. It's very important. If you are able to calibrate the courses with the, you know, qualification national standard qualification framework standards, then in that case your courses will become better, curriculum will be better, their quality will be better. They will be students will be aware of that what is expected from them clearly, and they will try to acquire those competencies and become a good engineer, good technician, and good worker. And they become good engineer, good worker, good technician. The possibility is there that the productivity of our industry and service sector will improve, and they will be wanted by all the industry. Each level of NSQF, 5 descriptors for particular position in specific industry, give idea of outcome or competency to be demonstrated by the manpower. Competency focus on what is expected of an employer in the workplace or ability to do a job well. So you will be able to know what is the competencies expected as per the levels are concerned. You will calibrate that your courses with that, and once you do the calibration, the quality of the. I have same thing what I have talked to you, that NSQL level is related to the doctorate. Is it? Are you understanding? NSQ level 9 is related to the master's degree. NSQF level 8 is degree special. NS level 7 is degree. NS6 is professional diploma, and NSQ level 5 is diploma. NSQ level is certificate. Level 3 is also certificate. 2 is certificate. NS level 1 is certificate. NSQL level 2 and 3 are of 18 months industrial exposure for our PL and 24 months after obtaining NSQL level 2 or 3 for level 4. The credit is equal to 20 hours of instruction. What I want to say from here is that although you must have seen that in engineering college curriculum which is there, program which is there, sometimes it is credit based. Have you heard about credit? Credit based. Lecture is given as 1 credit, isn't it? Tutorial is half or 1 credit. 2 hours lecture is 1 credit, isn't it? So each course will have certain credits. So here also, when you are designing your NSQ level degree level program, this will have 20 credits, where 1 credit will be of 20 hours. NSQF level 7 degree will be 180 credits. When you will be having professional diploma, it will be 120 credits, and then diploma will be 60 credits, and so on. But one thing is not clear to the planners also who are doing, that when we are talking about NSQF levels 8 and 7 or NSQF level 6, 6 doesn't mean that only you will have credit for 6 level in the course, isn't it? There may be, I have written 40 of 6, 50 of 5 and 30 of credits level 3. जो 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 कोर्स भी बनेगा हमारे प्रोफेशनल डिप्लोमा, उसमें 40 क्रेडिट तो 6 लेवल के होंगे, 50 लेवल के 5 हो सकते हैं, और 30 क्रेडिट जो है लेवल 3 के हो सकते हैं. In the total course which you have in degree program, you will find certain subjects are there, isn't it, which are of a higher level. Certain subjects which are basic sciences and engineering sciences, they are of a lower level. Is it? So professional courses and elective courses are of a higher level, while engineering sciences, basic sciences, humanities are of a lower credit. So when we are talking about NSQF level 6 course, it means it will include certain competencies related to the level 6. It will also include certain competency related to level 5 and competency related to 30. So once you take a decision about this, you will be able to design in the NSQ level 6 course, and then you can calibrate with your degree program which is there. So calibration, I have told you how you can calibrate the things, isn't it? Now, there are certain changes, and this was only what I wanted to talk to. Details can be worked out for the things I have written. But what I'm saying is that this way you will have to see the curriculum of your program, and you have to, you have to see technical vocational education, and you have to calibrate the technical vocational education with your lands. In technical vocational education, you have qualifications, and those qualifications are to be calibrated with the lands. I just want to bring to your notice that certain changes and reforms and technical education has been done. Provision for starting polytechnic courses in degree engineering college in second shift, provision of lateral entry scheme, national skill qualification framework, inviting industries to establish technical institution, collaboration with CII, NASCOM for quality improvement in technical institution, introduction of integrated program, community college, introduction of dual degree program, expansion of polytechnic and ITI. These are the things which are being implemented. I will see if I have got a diagram which I wanted to show you. So in a nutshell, what I want to say is that if India has to become a developed country, India can become developed country only by skilling the people. We have to provide skill training to large number of people. Skill training not as we wish, but skill training has to be done as per the national skill qualification framework, and skilling has to be done in large number. A movement has to start where we'll say each person should have skills. You know very well that if there are two persons, a skilled person can make 500 rupees, while the unskilled person will have to satisfy with 20 rupees, 30 rupees. For example, somebody knows painting, पेंट करना जानता है, सफेदी करना चाहता है, उसको 200 रुपये मिलेंगे, लेकिन जिसको कुछ नहीं आता है उसको 50 रुपये ही मिलेंगे. तो इसका मतलब है कि हर एक लोगों को जो है स्किल प्राप्त करने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए. और इंडिया विल बिकम ए डेवलप्ड कंट्री when you will find that we have large number of researchers, innovators, large number of engineers, managers, and our manpower spectrum become a egg type from the cone type. When it will become egg type, means large number of researchers, innovators will be there. And NSQF will help you to calibrate your courses in such a way that quality manpower is produced. And if the quality manpower is produced, then what will happen? We will be uh, uh, producing a lot of things which will be accepted by the world over, and thereby what will happen that we will be earning money by which the life of the people will be better. So technical education need to go for capacity expansion, equity, excellence, efficiency, effectiveness, quality, and culture for meeting the challenge of enhancing employability of the population. So what is required in India? We have to increase the capacity. That is, the places where people can get training of becoming craftsman, technician, engineer, etc. Number has to be increased. And not only number, equity, opportunity has to be given to all and everyone that they can enhance their skills, they can enhance their capabilities, competence. Then excellence has to be increased of the institutions. Efficiency has to be increased. Excellence include efficiency, effectiveness, quality, and culture. These are the things which are to be achieved in the institution for achieving excellence, or for this is required for becoming a competitive in the world. And you know very well, China is selling us a lot of things in Holi Diwali, earning crores of rupees. Isn't it? How they are doing it? They are doing only on the basis of this, that their manpower is such that they think the requirement of the country and then produce the things which can be sold in the country, and thereby they can earn money. Not only this, Reliance when Reliance made their factory in Maharashtra, they got labor from China because of the fact that skilled labor was not available in India. So what is required is that you have to have skilled people to the global standard so that they can work in India and abroad and earn money for the country. And for each one of you who are there, what is required is you should rise, dream, and awaken the power within you to achieve professional excellence, happiness, and empowerment of poor. So what is required is when you have got the God has given you the opportunity to interact with such large number of students, and you have got the facility of training large number of people, so you should rise, dream, and try to see that how can you uh, prepare people uh, to the level and the standards which are prescribed by national qualification framework so that they can be absorbed in India. And if you think about this and start working on this, when your heart is big and you have big things in mind, then your mind and conscious start expanding in every side and you reach out to the big world. Even your dormant power also awaken. The power which is within you and which are not working, those also get awakened when you make great profits. Start doing this. Possibility that कम है okay ऊंची करें okay so this diagram I have made it but I would not show it because of the fact that you have doesn't have the that much details of the things and I will stop here and if there are any questions I can ask from the I can answer from the different people yeah thanks so then in nutshell, what I have discussed with you today is I have said India has the vision of becoming a developed country by 2020. India can become developed country if India starts developing manpower of global standards. This manpower can be innovators and inventors, can be engineers and managers, can be craftsmen and technicians, can be skilled worker, can be unskilled worker and so on. We will have to have a system by which we can convert large population to the skilled people. There are two ways of doing it. One is to do it from the formal education system. Formal education system, we have polytechnic, ITI, degree, vocational schools, higher education system, and so on. Other system we can create by which people who are working in non-formal and informal sector, they can come, get their skills tested, and acquire the qualifications. And for that purpose, national skill qualification framework has been established, where the qualifications of the different levels which are there in industry, those are stated and which are specified in terms of competencies. Secondly, the existing formal education system can be also improved by calibrating those with the national skill qualification framework levels which have been decided and defined in terms of the outcomes. If those are specified, the people who are designing curriculum, they can take care and calibrate their curriculum accordingly. If the calibration becomes proper, in that case, the quality of the courses become better and the instruction becomes better and the output of the institutions will become better. So it is very essential that all institutions all over India, they should start this movement, that they should try to find out what is the level to which they are offering programs, what is the description of those levels in 5 descriptive terms, and then decide about the credits corresponding to the programs and try to match their courses with these levels. If they do that, then the possibility is there. Thank you very much. हाँ जी, जरा बात करा दीजिए. Hello. If you have any question regarding the lecture, you can ask and get clarification. इंस्टीट्यूशन का नाम बताइए ना. Baba Hira Singh Baddal, do you have any question, please? Baba Hira Singh Baddal, Institute of Engineering and Technology. Yes? Nobody is there? Hello? Vidya Bhavan Polytechnic College. Do you have any question?
No questions, sir, but I wanted to know the roadmap of NSQL.
Please repeat your question, please.
There is no question regarding your lecture. It is very nicely well articulated and presented. If you have got any information, about the roadmap of,
It's not very clear what you're speaking. Please speak again.
if you are having any roadmap, ROAD, MAP roadmap of NSQL.
Yeah. Roadmap of yeah. The thing is that government of India has set up a organization which is guiding the institutions through their resource system about how they should go for calibrating all the program as per the NSQFs. But what you can do at your level is that let the teachers sit together. They should try to find out what is the outcome which is there as per the courses which are offering, and if they are able to decide that, probably it will help them to calibrate that with the national standard qualification framework levels.
Thank you, sir.
uh, Firoz Gandhi Engineering College. Firoz Gandhi Engineering College, do you have any question or query? Yes, please. Yes, any question? Damla institution. Yeah. You have any question, please?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir. Myself
Good
Neha
afternoon.
in Applied Science Department from Northern India Engineering College.
Yes.
Yes, sir, I have a doubt or I want to ask one question from you. That even in technical syllabus or in technical syllabus teaching or technical courses, and the syllabus are very old. Even in applied science or in physics, we are teaching some 1800 times or experiments or it's very old. And but in foreign, there are some there are some foreign universities in where students are doing some research project even at school level. So, do you think that some syllabus should be modified according to the courses or something else?
Very nice. Very good. Very good question. See, in all curriculum, the time is not unlimited. and everybody is wanting that whatever he knows, that should be put. It is humanly not possible to introduce all the things which are required to be studied by the students to become an engineer or a technician. Now, while we are designing the curriculum, I will talk about this tomorrow. We will have to take care of what he has studied, up to the 10th class or 12th class, how he has studied, what is his learning style. If you understand what he has studied and how he has studied, it is very easy for a applied science teacher to build on this. This is one aspect. Second important aspect is that if the teacher is really interested that student should have a proper understanding of the concept, principles and theories of sciences, which are very essential. I being an engineer, I know it is where science is the mother of engineering. So if the students has to understand this, it will be very good for applied science teacher that he integrates with his teaching certain things which are not part of the curriculum. Give them independent exercises or projects which you give them a part of the continuous evaluation, so that students spend some time in developing those things. That will help them to understand the concepts and theories and principles, and they will like also. Knowledge is exploding very quickly, manifold, and it is not possible to put all the things in the curriculum. So, as a applied science teacher, I have the suggestion to you that you, in addition to whatever is the curriculum given to you by the board, in addition to that, think of something informal part of the curriculum which you feel is will be very useful for the student, which I agree with you will be there, and make or decide about 4 or 5 projects in the beginning of the semester and tell students, I would very much wish that you do these projects, and whosoever will do the project, he will be getting 20 marks out of the continuous evaluation. If you do that, then in that condition, in that situation, you will find, you will have the satisfaction that you have been able to develop the desired competency in the students. Thank you very much. Very good question. Yes, next. Okay, thank you very much for patiently listening to me, and I hope I have been able to uh, make the things very clear by comparing the calibration of the instruments, isn't it, with the standard. So standard is our national skill qualification framework levels, and our curriculums are the instruments which are to be calibrated to that standard to start giving a right type of reading, right type of product which is acceptable by the industry. Thank you.